So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be sewing palazzo pants. Okay, first of all, we're going to subtract 2 inches from the measurements because we're going to be adding band to this palazzo pants. As you can see, 2 inches, just mark that out. And then we're going to draw that line. This is going to be our startup line now. It's going to be our new startup line. Okay, so now from the 2 inches we're simply going to mark our hip line, which is 9 inches. As you can see, 9 inches. This is my standard hip line. So just mark that out like so. Make sure your lines are straight and they are accurate. So now we're just going to use our ruler to connect those lines together to form a complete hip line. Okay, so now from the hip line we're going to mark out our flap line. The flap line is usually 12. This is a high waist palazzo pant, so it is 12. The flap line is going to be 12 inch. You can get your flap line by measuring your waist to bum sitting down. Okay, just measure that out. So just mark out your 12 inches and then connect the ruler as well. Okay guys, so we're assuming our waist is our half cut, which is the waistline, and it is usually 16 inches, so keep that in mind. So from 16 now we're going to mark our full length, which is 57. From 16 half cut, okay, 57 is our full length of palazzo pants, and then we're going to minus 2 from 16 to give us 18, acting as our band area. So just mark out 15 inches at the bottom of your palazzo pants trouser, just like that. Simple and easy. So now we're just going to connect that out with a ruler. As you can see, just mark that out, straight line with a ruler. So now we're going to impute our measurements. First of all, we're going to start with the waistline. We're working with a 30-inch waist, and then our measurement is going to be divided by 4, and it will give us 7.5 inch. As you can see, 7.5 inch as 30 divided by 4, we're going to have about 7.5 inch. So we're going to be using 7.5 inch, but first of all, on the waistline we're going to subtract 1 inch. That means we're going to take 1 inch in. We're really just shaping our palazzo pants. That's the back of the palazzo pants. We're just shaping it, so taken by 1 inch, and then we're going to connect that 1 inch that has been taken into our hip line, to the beginning of our hip line, as you can see. So get your chalk, connect that 1 inch line that has been taken into your hip line. That is going to form our curve. It's going to shape in the pants. Okay, our pants cannot be straight because that's where the bum is going to be, so it has to shape in it one way or the other. So from that 1 inch line now we are going to impute your measurement. Take note, we're not starting from the very beginning. We're starting from that 1 inch that's taken in, and then we're marking our 7.5 inch allowance, and then adding 1 inch sewing allowance as well. Okay, so now on the hip line we're also going to impute our measurements. Our measurement is 40 divided by 4, that is 10 inches. So we're working with 10 inches. We're simply going to mark that out now. 10 inches, mark that out, and then you're going to add your 1 inch allowance as well. Okay, so now for the bottom of the trouser, we're simply going to do what we did on the waist shaping. So we're going to take in the measurement on our bottom line by 3 inches. So we're going to go in by 3 inches just to shape in that trouser, okay, because it cannot be straight. It's the back, it cannot be straight. So just take it in by 3 inches, and then you're simply going to connect that 3 inches I've been taken into our hip line, just like we did on the waistline. Connect it to your hip line. Don't worry, we're going to curve that pointed part out because it's not meant to be like that. It's supposed to be curved. Later on we're going to curve that out, but now that it has been connected to the hip line, we're just going to define that line a little bit. Just define that line a little bit, make sure it is bold, make sure you know what you're doing. So now on the flap line, guys, on the flap line is gotten by dividing your lap by 2, and we have 11.5 inches. So you're just going to mark that out on the flap line. The flap line is your lap line, okay, and then we're going to add our 1 inch allowance as well, and then we're just going to curve that flap area, and then we're going to connect that part down to the waist. Like so. Just get your ruler and connect that out to the waist. So now guys, what we're going to do, we're going to measure whatever we have on that flap line, that's including your allowance, whatever we have there. We have 12.75 inches. Okay, as you can see, 12.75. Just now we're going to transfer that line to the bottom of our trouser. Can you guys understand? We're going to measure the full measurement that is on the flap line, including the allowance, and then we're going to transfer that same measurement to the bottom of our palazzo pants, as you can see me doing here. And now from there, we're just going to subtract a little bit, which is half an inch. Just subtract it away from the 12.75. So whatever you get there, you're going to just put it as your allowance for the bottom of your palazzo pants, okay? So now that you've gotten that line, we're just simply going to connect it to our flap line, just the same way we did for the back of the pants. So now just connect that to the flap line. Now this is all we have for the front piece. It's super easy. Now we're just going to cut out that fabric using our defined lines, okay? So now for this part, we're just going to curve that out, because if we don't curve it out, it's going to have a pointed look, you know. So you just make sure you curve that out, and then you just go ahead and cut carefully, okay? So now this is what we have for the front piece, as you can see. Now for the back piece, this is the back piece. So all we're just going to do is just add a few allowances, and then we're just done, okay? So first of all, on this flap line, on the flap line and on the hip line, we're going to add 2 inches allowance, because this back piece is where your bum lies and it is bigger than the front, obviously. So we're going to add 2 inches to that part. You can add 1.5 it depends on how big the bum is. So here I'm just going to be using 2 inches, and then you're just going to connect it to your waist point. Okay, so now for the front piece, we're going to go down by 1 inch on that particular area. Go down by 1 inch and then connect it to that other point there that is high. So just slant it, just slanting it. Okay guys, so guys, my video went ahead and just like stopped recording. I've gone ahead to cut everything, so I'm just going to like give you guys a recap on how I did everything. So like I said, slant it and then connect it to that point, and then from that point that you have slanted, that you've cut out, you add 2 inches on the back piece, still on that same location. Okay, you add 2 inches and then you slant it, and then I went ahead to just connect that allowances that I took on the hip to the waist, and then for the bottom of the palazzo pants, I added 1/2 inch allowance and then connected it to my flap line, the flap line where I added 2 inches allowance. Okay, simple. And then on the other side, no allowances is to be put, no allowances at all. You just cut just like the front is, but then on the back piece for the waist part, you're going to add extra 1 inch allowance. Like I said, the back is usually bigger, so you add extra 1 inch allowance and then connect it to your hip line as well. So I just went ahead to cut, and this is what we have. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe and share.